welcome to the Dynamic Duel podcast, where we debate the superiority between Marvel and DC by comparing their characters in crossover battle simulations and by reviewing their films. I'm Johnny DC.
And I'm his twin brother, Marvelous Joe.
And it's the end of 2017, people!
Should all the acquaintance be forgot?
This was a fantastic year for superhero movies.
This episode, we will be talking about the year, basically, the best and the worst that the year had to offer in terms of comic book superhero films.
It was a really good year.
Marvel and DC. It was a great year. This has probably been the best year for comic book films ever.
Yeah. Definitely, like, according to, like, Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
Before this, it was probably 2008, but this year definitely trumps that. For both Marvel and DC. Like, Marvel did not put out a bad film this year. That includes Fox. DC, had a slight misstep with Justice League, but you can't say that Justice League was worse than Suicide Squad or BVS.
No.
At least the theatrical cut of BVS.
Right.
So, yeah, this has been the best year for both DC fans and Marvel fans. Movie-wise, and they both should be super excited.
Yeah, everyone should be really happy with this year.
Everybody gave yourselves a pat on the back, for being a fan. And,
I'm doing it right now.
Encouraging these films to be so well made. I think it's been a great year.
I think all but one was scored 90%
on Rotten Tomatoes.
On Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yeah, it's been great. I mean, that goes into our trivia question, so we'll get into that later. But yeah, great year. We'll be going into our Brothers Awards. The Brothers Awards is named after the brothers that were in the 1990s Marvel vs. DC miniseries, in which both the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe were represented by these cosmic entities that were referred to as brothers.
Right.
And it's good because, you and I are also brothers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that, but we are. We look exactly
If you don't listen to the beginning of this podcast, then, you may have missed that. We're twins. But one is blue, one is red. It was
just like us. Like, you're blue, I'm red. Yeah.
And so you'll see those brothers actually on the awards that we'll post once we get this episode up. We'll post them to social media.
Yeah, little badges, basically stating what the award is. So we'll get into that later on this episode. Before that, we have a couple of news items. Just a couple. It's kind of a slow news week.
Really slow. There's only 2 news items, and they're reaching. These aren't big news items at all. Yeah. So
yeah,
which get used to that kinda, because as we mentioned at the end of the last episode, next year in 2018. We're switching it up a bit. This is a bi-weekly podcast now, but in 2018, it's going to be weekly.
Yep, so weekly.
Yeah, so, the news segment is definitely going to be truncated. It's going to be shorter. There may only be 1 or 2 news items to talk about any given week.
Yeah, so it should turn our episodes, which are normally about an hour to an hour 45 minutes, into an episode our episode should be about 45 minutes to an hour long now.
Yeah, so it'll be easier to listen to.
Everybody wins.
You get to hear it more often. Yeah, everybody wins. It's great. It's great.
Nice. All right, so what's the news this episode?
Okay, so this episode, we're going to be talking, this isn't a rumor. What is this? This is not, it's a
news item.
It was like a redacted news item.
Yeah.
One of Marvel's employees, accidentally leaked the fact that Blade is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Next year.
So excited for that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
And then also there's a new Black Lightning trailer for the CW TV series that's coming out in January, I believe.
So both TV news items, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So yeah, that's it for the news, and then we'll get into the Brothers Awards. But before we do that, let's get into our weekly trivia question. We want to give a congratulations to Tim Brown, Adam Spees, and my own wife, Melissa, for answering last episode's trivia question correctly.
Did she post her answers to social media, or did she just whisper them in your ear?
Whisper?
I don't know.
Yes. She was listening to the episode, and then she leaned in and then whispered them into my ear. No, she didn't post to social media, but she did know the answers. In one of the few cases that she did know the answers. So congrats to her for doing that. I trained her well. So last episode's question was, name a DC Comics live-action movie that takes place during Christmas time. Same question for Marvel. And the correct answers were, for DC, Batman Returns. That movie took place during Christmas time. Yeah. And so did, for Marvel, Iron Man 3. So congratulations to those 3. We'll be listing you on the No Prize that will be drawing up for this episode. And, if you want to be listed on our No Prize, go ahead and give the correct answer to this episode's question, which is, according to Rotten Tomatoes, 2017 was the best year for Marvel and DC comic book films ever, with Wonder Woman, Logan, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man all making it into the top 5 highest-rated superhero films, according to Rotten Tomatoes. What's the fifth film there? What film rounds out the top 5 of the highest-rated superhero films, according to Rotten Tomatoes math?
Yeah, highest reviewed, I guess, or rated.
Highest scored, I guess,
yeah.
according to critics. So post your answer to our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook by doing a search for Dynamic Duel Podcast. You can find us on those platforms. Or you can email us at dynamicduelpodcast@gmail.com. Again, whoever gets the answer correct will win a Dynamic Duel No Prize that we post on those social media platforms.
Yeah, and just a heads up, in this upcoming year, we're sort of switching up the way we do our No Prizes. We're not really going to have a trivia question, but we will have a question. Just one to sort of encourage social media communication.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll still be a question that we pose to listeners, but not necessarily a trivia question. More like a regular question. and whoever posts our favorite answer, and by favorite we might mean funniest, it might mean most insightful, something like that. We'll go ahead and read that on the next episode and give you the No Prize on social media.
Yeah, just think of like Cards Against Humanity. Like whoever brings like a smile to my face is I'm gonna drop the No Prize for. That's cool.
Yeah, but we'll get into that into the next episode. Let's go ahead and get into the news.
Yeah.
Lorraine Sink, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She's one of the co-hosts on the social media show that Marvel does called Thwip. Mm-hmm. She posted on Twitter. I'll read the actual tweet. She said, "Got a chance to meet the very charming Jeff Ward, aka Deke, from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. today." Which I've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This new season is okay. It's not as good as the last one, but Deke is...
They're in space, right?
Yes, and they're actually in the future as well. They're in space and in the future.
Time travel.
Deke is one of the characters that they meet on the ship, on the Kree ship. So she met him. Let's get back into the tweet. "I can't wait for you to see the cool things we are cooking up. Keep an eye out in 2018. Hashtag Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hashtag Blade."
There it is.
So this tweet has since been deleted, and it has led many to speculate that Blade is going to appear on the show in this kind of in a similar way to how Ghost Rider was in the last season.
It makes sense.
And which I loved. I loved that version of Ghost Rider. I was never a huge fan of Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider until that episode. And now I feel so much more connected to Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider than I do as Johnny Blaze. I thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that was the best season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was season 4. And if you haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you're going to watch any season, watch that season because it was just fantastic. This one, not so much, but Blade might, turn it around. We haven't heard from Blade since 2004.
Blade Trinity.
Yeah, Blade Trinity.
No, because he had his TV show.
Oh, that's right. And I never watched that on Spike TV.
Yeah.
He did have a television show. But I'm really looking forward to what they can do with the character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., considering what they did with Ghost Rider. Might be one of the best incarnations of the character yet. There's been a lot of Blade news popping up. Around the same time that this tweet came out, someone asked Wesley Snipes who he would prefer to play Blade next.
And of course he says himself.
Yeah. He said, "You already know there's only one Blade, fam. Hashtag Blade." But, he's referring to himself. A lot of people have speculated that, Idris Elba would be a great Blade.
Yeah.
Which I think he would. He's a little old.
But he's not a TV actor.
You're right, and he's not a TV actor.
Well, I mean, he did Luther. But, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to get probably, a non-film actor, somewhat of a television actor who's still really good. I think Gabriel Luna, who played Robbie Reyes in
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D. I was going to say in Ghost Rider, but he played Ghost Rider, and I thought he's a phenomenal actor, I think. If I had to cast, a movie actor in the role, it would probably be, John Boyega, considering the character.
Yeah.
Is British. Blade is British.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Idris Elba would be, a good British version of Blade as well, but I just think he's a little old. And, of course, these are all film stars, so... looking forward to that. That's going to be really exciting.
Do you think it's going to come?
I hope it's not just like a joke, or not a joke, but like a misdirect or something like that.
Yeah, she just ruined it for everyone. Like, oh, we can't do Blade now. You ruined it.
I would almost like to see, like, I think we mentioned before, I'd like to see a Netflix Blade show.
Yeah.
Like, if they did, like, Blade, Moon Knight, and Man-Thing, maybe Ghost Rider, definitely. If they did Netflix shows on all those characters and then had them team up in a Defender-style Netflix show, I think that would be amazing. And they would take on more, like, supernatural threats.
And you could still do, like, I think a Ghost Rider Netflix show, just because, they didn't do Johnny Blaze. And
right.
I think, there's more, it's helpful that there's more than one Ghost Rider.
Right, exactly.
Do you think this Blade is going to appear on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like later or like early 2018, or do you think it's going to be like the fall of 2018?
No, well, fall of 2018 will be the new season.
Right.
You think he's going to come next season?
Yeah, this season or next season, essentially.
I didn't even think about that. I just assumed, because in season 4, they broke up the season into basically 2 parts. The first half of
They said it was like 3 parts.
No, 2 parts. Oh. The first half of season 4 was the Ghost Rider part. Mm-hmm. And then the second part of season 4 was the framework, in which they were like in a Matrix type scenario with Hydra as the villain again. And those 2 were completely different. So you can, depending on your transition episodes, you can take it anywhere you want to, basically. So maybe they wrap up this whole futuristic space arc within the first half of the season, and then in the second half of the season they're dealing with vampires or something.
Well, they're through the first half of the season, aren't they?
No, they're not. They're only 5 episodes in.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's it's like a 22 episode season.
Oh, okay.
So we still have a ways to go.
Okay.
I'm not digging this whole kind of Kree space future season so far.
Dude, I'm not watching any TV series right now.
You're not? Why not?
No, this like next year TV Brothers Award Best TV show is gonna be really hard, because I'm like halfway through like the 4-part crossover that they did
for the CW.
Yeah, for the CW shows. I just always feel like guilty like doing this award, because like I don't watch Gotham. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch Krypton when it comes out.
I haven't watched any of the Runaways show yet on Hulu. I'm kind of waiting for that for the whole season to air, and then I'll just binge it. Yeah,
nice.
I don't like watching episodes like weekly to weekly. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the only one I do that with, because if I don't, I'll lose those episodes on Hulu. Like they only have 5 episodes on Hulu of the current season, so
yeah, it's probably too late for me to go back and start the shows. Oh no, they're on the CW app. Never mind, they might be there. I don't know. I'll have to check.
You're an uninformed fan.
I am totally an uninformed when it comes to the show. It's just like, but there's a new like show like every day of the week. It's so hard to keep up.
Yeah.
It's like that's my whole life is just watching TV.
And now Black Lightning is going to join the roster of shows that you should be watching.
One more. I'm definitely going to check out the premiere for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of Black Lightning.
Speaking of Black Lightning, we got a new trailer. Nice segue. I like that. And it's a really short trailer. But it has new footage, which is great. I think it's less of a focus like on his family and more of a focus on like the city that he's protecting this time.
Who's the actor that plays Black Lightning?
Shoot. Crispus. I don't know, dude.
Look it up. All I want to say about him, though, is that he's a badass. He looks like a really cool character. He's a cool actor. He seems like a cool dude. There's a great line in this trailer where he's like kind of hesitant about coming back as Black Lightning, because he hasn't been Black Lightning. He hasn't used his powers basically in 9 years. But crime is getting worse in his city.
Yeah.
And so he says, I can't save the world. But I guess his confidant or whatever says,
James Remmer.
Yeah. He says, you don't have to save the world. You just have to say you just have to say you're part of it.
Yeah.
You're piece of it. You're part of it. Whatever. I thought it was a great line. That totally just got butchered right now by me. But it was kind of an aspect to superheroism that hasn't really been explored yet. Just through that line.
Yeah.
It's like every hero, they try to do their part for their community,
right?
Basically,
right. It's sort of like Batman. It's like, here's this guy. He doesn't have any superpowers. He definitely can't like stop all the crime in the world. And I guess the point of it really isn't to stop all the crime in the world. It's just to make it a little better, make your part of it better.
Right.
You know?
I think that applies to real life, kind of.
Yeah. This definitely seems like more like I don't want to say grounded, because like Arrow is really grounded. And it's really street, too. You know, it reminds me of Luke Cage.
It does.
This trailer specifically.
I got such a Luke Cage vibe from this. And I think that was done on purpose.
You're probably right.
Because Luke Cage, according to some article about Netflix stats that I saw a while ago, actually, Luke Cage is the Marvel Netflix most popular show. It's the most watched show.
No way.
Yeah. By quite a wide margin, too. So I think DC is trying to capitalize on that kind of success and that kind of feel, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they've succeeded in this. I think this looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I was always excited when they announced that this show was going to happen, but like, I mean, it hasn't happened yet, and we learned about it so long ago that like it's definitely like fallen off my radar, sort of. This definitely, you know, piques my interest though. It looks like a really cool show.
There was a part where some guys were shooting bullets at him, and I thought maybe they were going to showcase his like bulletproof powers.
Yeah, because his first power was essentially like a force field.
Yeah, it was cut a little weird because like they were shooting guns at him, and then he blasted them with lightning, but they never showed like the bullets bouncing off of a force field or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still wondering if he has that power, which I think they should.
He should have that power. He throws some like pretty cool like taser punches. You know what his power really reminds me of? Like even more than Black Lightning, his power set reminds me of like Static Shock. Because you know how Static Shock sort of like had
it was like lightning telekinesis.
Like almost. Yeah, like static telekinesis. So like, you know, there's a scene where like he's like lifting a guy with a lightning bolt and then like he drops him and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. That's a little weird.
It is weird. I prefer the force field lightning bolt kind of
combo.
Yeah.
We should do Black Lightning in a duel against like Storm or somebody later on.
We should.
Like when the episode or when the season starts. When does the season start?
I think it's January.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's because unless I'm mistaken, maybe it's just the premiere that they're doing around Martin Luther King Day.
Oh,
but like DC is having like this big event in Washington D.C. It's like DC in DC or something like that, and they're debuting this show there.
Yeah, I was also actually interested in reviewing Blade and doing a Blade duel sometime or before Black Panther. Because
that's really the movie that started it all.
Yeah, Blade was the one that started it all. And, you know, it's Black History Month, and I just think that would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I guess look forward to that.
I just realized Black Panther is in Black History Month.
Yeah, in February. Yep.
Recognized that sooner.
So, yeah, all right. I think that does it for all the news. Let's go ahead and get into the 2017 Brothers Awards.
All right, here we are on the imaginary Brothers Awards red carpet. This year, we have one new award that we'll be giving out. But just to run down the list of everything, we're going to be giving out awards for Best News Item, Best Trailer, Best Original Music, Best Television Series, Best On-Screen Moment, Best New On-Screen Character, Best On-Screen Villain, Best On-Screen Hero, Best Actor, Best Actress, and we'll wrap it up with Best Motion Picture.
That sounds like a lot of awards. It's only 11. Hopefully this won't be as long as the actual Oscars. I think last year we talked about this for about an hour or so, but it should be around the same maybe. I don't know. We'll see how long it ends up.
But we also give like a runner-up, and we also talk about the worst item. So let's start off with the Best News Item.
All right, who's going first this year? You or me?
Who went first last year?
I don't remember. Okay, well, I know a way to do this. Okay, think of a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
What is it?
1.
Okay, I'll go first.
What the heck?
All right. All right. Okay, so what was the first category? Maybe you should go first since you have the category.
Yeah, I have it in front of me. So the first one,
sequence.
Starting off, we're doing Best News Item.
Okay.
So this is like everything we've talked about in all of the news sections, you know, throughout our podcast this year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we actually talked about this. We did offhand, but I don't know if it was a specific news item.
Wait, I get a guess.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right, so I think that your award for the best news item for DC of the year was probably. Did you guys have good news this year? It was all bad news. Maybe that Matt Reeves was confirmed to direct the Batman. Because I know there was a lot of back and forth with that.
No, it's good news, but it was not my news item, top news item. So my brother award for best DC news item goes to Wonder Woman's critical reception.
That's not really news, I guess. Okay, yeah, that's true. That is news.
Yeah, it wasn't like a specific item that we talked about. It was definitely news throughout the year. Yeah. Not just, it's critical reception, but it's box office reception as a result of that. It's the second highest grossing film that Warner Brothers has ever made. Mm-hmm. And the critics just loved it. People loved the film, which was such like a great breath of fresh air.
That makes sense.
Coming off of Suicide Squad and BVS the year before, which people just hated and continued to bash and bash and bash.
Man of Steel, which people were mixed on.
Yeah.
This was like DC's first big, huge, and still currently greatest success.
Yeah, and it's the number one reviewed superhero film of all time now, according to Rotten Tomatoes. It's just huge. It's a really big deal. So that's what made me most happy this year.
What was your runner-up?
My runner-up was that Warner Brothers is creating a DC digital streaming service. The fact that we're going to have our own, essentially app dedicated just to DC shows and stuff, and the content that's going to be on it. Young Justice Season 3, this new not Teen Titans, but Titans series. It looks like it's going to be really good. I'm super excited for it. I can't wait for them to announce more news about it.
Yeah, that's pretty good news too. Actually, that would have been my first guess. Really? If I would have thought about it. What was the worst news for you?
Justice League's critical reception. Yeah, sort of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back with DC's movies.
It was still a good film. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad at all.
No, as much as I don't like as a DC fan to look at the tomato meter on some of these films, I do have to acknowledge the fact that critics, twice as many critics liked Justice League as BVS or Suicide Squad. So that's something. It's definitely not the worst, but it is definitely a little heartbreaking.
God, the way they reviewed the tomato meter for Justice League was so stupid. It was just so stupid.
Oh, it's the way they revealed it?
Yeah.
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 It was dumb. I hope they never do that again.
Yeah. All right. So for Marvel,
let me guess.
This one's obvious.
Infinity War?
What? It's obvious.
No. Okay, the big news with Marvel movies this year was I don't know.
Short-term memory, man. Disney acquires 20th Century Fox, acquiring the X-Men and Fantastic Four film rights to their library.
Well, that's still
That gets the Brothers Award for Best Marvel News Item for 2017.
I'm dumb.
Obviously, because it means that
you just doubled the size of your universe.
Right, exactly. We get the film rights to all the X-Men, and I say we because obviously I'm a part of Marvel. We get the Fantastic Four back, and we get to see all these characters as they rightfully should be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's just fantastic. Monopoly concerns aside, I thought it was fantastic news. And it's not something that I ever imagined would happen within the next decade or so.
I thought it was going to happen soon.
We all know what you think you thought. 'Cause that's what you said last episode or 2 episodes ago when this news was announced. But I'm just, I'm up in the clouds with this news. I can't wait for them to start announcing future X-Men and Fantastic Four projects, even if they're TV shows or something like that. It'll be nice to see them playing in the same universe as Captain America and Spider-Man, who's kind of a foot into the MCU and a foot out.
Yeah.
Just exciting news. Great news. So excited. I think the runner-up news, which is slightly more irrelevant now, but at the time was super exciting to me because this news item was announced right after Logan came out, and that was a great film. And so I was actually looking forward to the future Fox X-Men films, and they announced that 3 X-Men films were going to come out in 2018, and they had dates for those. And those are going to be, of course, New Mutants, Deadpool 2, and X-Men Dark Phoenix. The only ones I'm really excited for now are New Mutants and Deadpool 2. I'm not really excited for Dark Phoenix.
Especially after the news of the Skrulls and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that Fox seems to be doing well with these X-Men films, and we're getting 3 of them next year, I thought, was exciting at the time. And I still think it's pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. Even though, it's going to be all irrelevant. And the worst news was a bit of tragic news, actually, when the stuntwoman motorcycle driver, S.J. Harris, tragically died on the set of Deadpool 2 while filming a motorcycle stunt. So, obviously, that was the worst news because, you never want to hear news like that when people are making films about things you love but aren't necessarily like, the most important things in the world. It's never worth a life. And I just hope that it kind of led to some kind of regulations or something.
We haven't really heard too much after that.
Yeah.
Like, what are there more regulations, stricter, more stringent?
At least I hope people are being more careful, and I think more attention should be brought to the stunt community because they sacrifice a lot. Give them an Oscar category. Come on. Academy.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
It's really hard work. They put more on the line than any other movie maker does. So yeah, worst news. All right, so on to the next award.
I just remembered last year.
What?
How we were like, man, why are we ending all of these with like such horrible news? I wonder if we should start with the worst news and then.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
All right. Okay, so the next category is best trailer. Let's start with you first, though. Let's switch off DC and Marvel.
Okay, that's fine.
I think we did that last year.
I think we did.
I don't remember. It was a year ago.
All right, so what's your guess?
Black Panther. I think it was the first Black Panther. No, the second Black Panther trailer.
That was a good one. Mm-hmm. That didn't get my award. The award for the best Marvel trailer for 2017 goes to the Thor Ragnarok teaser trailer.
Oh.
That one came out earlier in the year, and it was the one
with the Immigrant Song.
Yeah, it played Immigrant Song, and
You're just a fan of Led Zeppelin, though.
We saw Hello, break the hammer for the first time, and it like freaked everybody out.
Yeah,
and we saw that Thor's going, into space, and Hulk comes out, and his reaction was, yes, and it was just a great trailer all around it. I was not even knowing what to expect from the movie, and then when I saw that trailer, it easily became my most anticipated movie of 2017. Mm-hmm. And the film was good, thankfully. It lived up to the hype of the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one definitely got the most pumped up. I mean, if the purpose of a trailer is to get you excited for a film that you weren't necessarily excited for earlier, that definitely succeeded. Mm-hmm. My runner-up, maybe it should have been Black Panther, but actually, I feel like Black Panther is going to be good already. Like, I'm already super excited for that. It didn't really convert me on anything. But I gave my runner-up award to the Punisher official trailer. And that was the one...
Oh, the...
Yeah, that was the one that was set to Metallica's One.
Yeah.
I think for me...
That was a really good one.
That was right up there, almost meeting the level of quality that the Thor Ragnarok trailer was. And not just because of the music, although that certainly helped, but I almost feel like that trailer was maybe even possibly better than the show itself. And the show was really good. But it showed a whole lot of action. It looked like a Punisher that we've been waiting forever to see, a version of him that we've been waiting forever to see, especially with how ruthless and cold he was. And just, I think they nailed the tone of what the Punisher should be just flawlessly.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And the worst trailer for 2017 for Marvel, I think, was the trailer for The Gifted television show on Fox. It wasn't even know what to expect for that show when they announced that show was coming, but then that first trailer dropped, and I was less interested in seeing it after I saw that because just it looked so irrelevant, and the kids looked annoying. He's like, I can help you with your powers. Look, I'm going to move this bag of potato chips. Wow, you just moved a bag of potato chips. And I'm like, holy crap, I do not want to watch this. And I watched the pilot and the subsequent episode, and I just didn't get into it. I haven't watched it since. I don't know if it's gotten better since then. Maybe someone who has been watching the show can write in and let me know if it's worth watching. But, based on those first 2 episodes, I didn't think that was the case. And maybe a lot of those feelings were influenced by this horrible trailer. It looked bad. So that's, yeah. All right, so best DC trailer for 2017. I'm going to guess that it was I want to say it was the Justice League one with the cover of the Beatles song, where we saw Aquaman surfing the parademon and stuff like that. But I'm actually gonna guess, since you love Wonder Woman so much, that it's gonna be a Wonder Woman trailer, probably the one that came out before the movie.
No, actually, it was the Justice League Comic-Con sneak peek trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not the one that came out in 2016.
No, the 2017 one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain what that one was.
It was a really long trailer. It was like 4 minutes long.
Oh, is that
and
the one?
It was just like back to back to back, just like awesome footage. Yeah.
Was that the one where they first had Steppenwolf first mentioned the lanterns? Or
yes.
No lanterns. Okay.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, not only did we get that though, but it was the one where we first saw Wonder Woman break into the bank heist. It was just really great moment after moment for every character had their moment to shine. It came out a month after Wonder Woman, so we got to see Themyscira again. Mm-hmm. We got to see Queen Hippolyta, and we got our really first good look at Steppenwolf.
Oh yeah, we got to see the boom tubes for the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah, that was a good trailer.
Again he mentions the lanterns and that alone. Oh my gosh. But no, you even get great moments Alfred talking about the exploding wind-up penguins, which was just a great callback, and it was the first time we got to see the whole, Flash talking about how he just pushes people and runs away, which was a funny moment.
I think our hype level for that movie was never greater than what it was at that time.
Oh, for sure.
When this dropped,
for sure. And this was the trailer where we had Aquaman surfing the parademon through the building, and then he just whips his hair.
Yeah.
But it was also the trailer where we finally got to see the scene that was previewed a year before during the set visits, where Commissioner Gordon turns around and everyone is gone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Flash is just oh, that's rude. And then of course we got the big tease at the end where it didn't appear in the movie, but in the trailer it was really cool, where Alfred is let's hope you're not too late, and everyone was speculating as to who that was. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, but it was just a really good trailer. And yeah, you're right. I was never more excited for the film than I was once that was released. It was a really long, good trailer.
Yeah.
Just moment after moment. My runner-up was actually the Wonder Woman, I think it was the final trailer. It was titled Rise of the Warrior. It was the one that was set to that
that stupid song. We are the warriors, we fight a lot. That song? I don't know how it goes.
Yeah, it was that song. I thought it went really well with the trailer. It starts off with this really sweet
I hated that.
I liked that.
Okay.
How did you not like that?
I just don't like the song that much.
It was that set to her rising up out of the trenches, and then with her as a little girl and everything. It was just the whole trailer was really cool.
Yeah.
That was my runner up. The worst trailer. You went with the TV trailer for your worst one. I thought that was kind of cheating.
Why?
Because I haven't watched all of the TV trailers for all the CW shows and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And if I would have known you were going to do that, I probably would have done well, I don't know, maybe one of those shows, maybe the first Black Lightning trailer.
Well, I stay on top of my shit as a Marvel fan. So
yeah, I chose the last Justice League trailer as my worst trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
It was the David Bowie song.
Oh, We Could Be Heroes?
Yeah. I liked the trailer. I know there was a lot of online people didn't even know it was a David Bowie song, and they thought it just tonally didn't fit. There wasn't too much new footage.
Mm-hmm. I remember
I thought it should have been. I mean, it was definitely the most emotional trailer. I definitely got the most feels from it, sort of. Maybe it should have been more of a pump up trailer than a feels trailer.
It should have shown more new footage. I think it didn't substantially show us anything new, which is why I think it was kind of a disappointment.
And some of the quote unquote new footage that we saw was actually just redone CG work of other stuff we had seen, like Wonder Woman taking out the parademons off the top of the Batmobile and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, with the red sky.
Yeah, and then it ended with another Flash joke talking about the bat signal, which it was a funny joke. It wasn't as good of a joke. There were stronger jokes, throughout the film and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's really not the worst trailer of last year. It should have been a TV one, but I just haven't done my research.
Way to go, man.
Yeah, thankfully we don't do like any kind of like graphic for the worst ones. Okay, next up we have the best original music of 2017.
I'm going to guess... Well, I know last year you gave the best original music award to the Wonder Woman theme. That I'm going to guess that this year... Oh, you're not going to give it to that Everybody Knows song, are you?
That's technically not an original piece of music.
It was written by Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have it. I guess that would have been my guess.
Okay. No, I gave it to Who's the Batman for the Lego Batman movie. You know, when he like first jumps out of his Batmobile and he's like...
Oh yeah, I had trouble remembering that song. So you just yeah, that's right.
It was. If you look at the lyrics, it's just well written. I just remember having like the biggest smile on my face during that scene because I know a lot of people like Lego Batman gets a lot of hate for some reason, but I loved Lego Batman. I really liked that movie. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of it has to do with just like his attitude as the character. You know, just like he can do anything. He's just like the best. Batman's the best at everything, and that song like really I thought captured that in a really, really funny way. I thought it was really great. It was just a cool scene too, seeing like him just take out all of his rogues gallery.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was an exciting sequence
for sure
around that time. He was kind of a little overpowered, I felt, in that sequence, but he was a badass.
So that gets the award. My runner up was a Wonder Woman theme. It was the it was the theme that was played during the end credits called Action Reaction. It uses a little bit of Hans Zimmer's like kind of theme. It like really like takes that and just like builds on it, and it was the perfect song to use at the end of that movie. It was like really powerful. You know, you cut from her like flying through the air to the credits. It was really cool. It was a really cool song. Definitely, I think it was the best score of this year out of all superhero films in general. But I just really
you're
liked
biased.
That. Yeah.
So. What was your worst?
My worst was, and this is really just because like I don't really care for the genre. I'm sure a lot of people like it. It was "To Be Human" by Sia. It was in the Wonder Woman soundtrack. It was played at the in the end credits, like after the one I just talked about, the Action Reaction.
Oh, it was written for the film?
Yeah. So the song is about like being human, and like there's themes of like like love, and it's sort of it's appropriate for Wonder Woman. I just like, I was like,
Not your genre?
No, not at all.
All right. So Marvel, the best original music.
I'm going to say was the Logan score.
That was a great score, but no.
Okay.
I thought that was really well done. It kind of had like a Western feel to it.
Yeah.
But the music that I thought was the coolest, that got me the most excited, that I liked the most was it was called Thor Ragnarok from the Thor Ragnarok soundtrack. And it was the song that we got during the title sequence of Thor Ragnarok. And it had this cool 80s synth sound, and it was just really trippy, kind of like really out there. And I thought it was just really appealing.
I don't remember the opening title sequence of Thor.
It was when he was pulled up into the Bifrost.
Okay. And it left that pattern that said Thor Ragnarok. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that, like, that scene. I remember, like, being really pumped up during that scene. Mm-hmm. But, like, to me, like, sort of, like, the best scores are sort of, like you don't hear them because they are so ingrained in the visual aspect of it. Like they're not as noticeable. Like to me, a bad score is one that is like maybe like really really stands out and sort of takes you out of the moment.
Not necessarily. Not in this case, certainly. The runner-up goes to it's a song called "Darkness," the full suite, and it's from the show Legion. I don't think you've seen all of Legion yet.
No.
But that was the only Marvel television show that I've ever given 5 stars. Actually, the only Marvel anything out of movies or television shows that I've ever given 5 stars. I was a huge fan of Legion. And part of that was due to the music. And the Darkness Suite so perfectly captured how great the show was. The show itself was across the board in terms of genre and everything like that. And the music was appropriately weird but cool, and it's just really interesting to listen to. I found myself listening to that whole soundtrack after the show was over and just being amazed by it. Like it's not something that you hear in most movies or anything like that. It's not something that would fit most other content, but it fit this content perfectly.
Nice. I really want to watch that show. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, you should. The worst music, I thought, and it's not really the worst. Well, it is the worst, but I didn't think it was a bad song, but I guess I was kind of let down by it, was the Defenders main title. After the music that we got for Daredevil and Jessica Jones was so great, and Luke Cage was so great, and even Iron Fist song was so great. I thought
it was
Then you get the Defenders main title, and it was just kind of bland. Yeah, it didn't suit really any of the characters, and it was a little generic. It could have been applied to almost anything, and I don't know if they went generic because they couldn't find a tone that fit all the characters together. But even if they were going for a tone that did fit all the characters together in this song, I don't think they succeeded. It was just a little generic for me. Still a good song, but not the best. Probably the worst. Hence, it gets the award for the worst. All right. What's the next category?
Next category is best television series.
Ooh.
For you, I know you liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a lot. So I'm going to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Are you serious, man? I just seriously got done talking about how great Legion was.
Legion is shit! Why do I suck? Damn it!
Legion obviously gets the winner for the best Marvel television series of 2017. It's the only one I've ever given 5 stars. It was an action show. It was a horror show. It was a comedy show. It was everything. It surpassed all of my expectations, and I think it surpassed the genre itself to become something new, something that television audiences have never seen before. And I'm really looking forward to the second season. And, even though the whole acquisition by Marvel thing is going on, I'm kind of hoping like at least Legion and Deadpool carry over into the MCU. I don't want to see Legion go away. Dan Stevens' performance was amazing. And just the story arc was so non-linear and so cerebral. And I got to watch it again. I'm going to watch it again after talking about it right now because I just want to watch it again. It was so good. It was so good. So dark. I really like that about it too. It's probably the darkest thing that Marvel has ever produced. And that includes the Netflix shows. It's just weird. The runner-up I got to give to The Punisher Season 1 because that was a fantastic show.
Wow.
It was a great year for television shows too. Also a bad year, but we'll get into that. Punisher Season 1 was great. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 was great, but I did like Punisher Season 1 more because I feel like Punisher was the most mature and grounded of the Netflix properties. I liked it just as much as I liked Jessica Jones and Daredevil, and those were great shows, so that's saying something. And the worst show, you probably already know this one too.
Iron Fist.
No, Inhumans.
Oh my god!
You're horrible with your guesses.
Horrible. Wow.
Not Iron Fist. I thought Iron Fist was okay in some parts. It wasn't the greatest show, obviously, but even worse than Iron Fist. Like, Iron Fist got off lucky because the Inhumans came out, and so a lot of these worst awards are going to go to the Inhumans. Because I did watch that full miniseries, and the first 2 episodes that we saw in IMAX were the best 2 episodes of that show.
Ugh.
There was a cool moment in the last episode where we see Black Bolt speak, and it was kind of a touching moment. But in between that last episode and the first 2 episodes were just some of the worst television content, superhero content I've seen. I mean, it's not the worst show I've ever seen, but the worst superhero show I've ever seen. Like, it was just weird. Like, the story went nowhere in Hawaii. It was just so bizarre. Like, and it was full of side characters that were just I didn't give a shit about. It was just bad. It sucks because the award that I gave to like the best news item for last year was the fact that they were going to make this Inhuman show, and the first 2 episodes were going to be on IMAX. And I thought that was super exciting because I love the Inhumans, and I was really looking forward to this, and I was so let down.
Our best news items from last year for both of us sort of like ended up flopping.
Yeah.
Because yours was Inhumans, mine was the fact that Jeff Johns was put in charge of DC. But that didn't DC Films, but that didn't really amount to anything, and he's sort of been demoted now.
Yeah.
Or they're looking for they're looking for their own Kevin Feige.
Feige, yeah.
Apparently.
Anyway, worst television show Inhumans. I felt bad for it. I hope somehow they can reboot it, although I don't know if they'll be doing that anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe in like a future Fantastic Four sequel or something like that. All right. Your best television series for DC. I would have no idea where to start on this, so I'm just going to say Arrow.
No, Arrow was good this season that ended in the spring.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good series. It's the best Arrow has been in a while, but it wasn't, I thought, the best CW show. That goes to Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, really?
That gets my award for best television series of 2017.
Oh.
It was just so fun. They went like all over the place. It's just a consistently good show.
You didn't really talk about it too much, so I'm surprised. I actually honestly forget about that show. That show exists a lot of times. What did they do in this season?
In the past season?
Yeah, the season that ended in the spring.
So the season that ended in the spring, they took 3 villains from previous like Arrowverse shows. It was Malcolm Merlyn, Reverse Flash, and Damien Dark, and they were the 3 villains. They were looking for the Spear of Destiny. And so it was sort of like a race between the Legends and the, I think they refer to themselves as the Legion of Doom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so they were competing to collect the Spear of Destiny. It was a really cool season.
Sounds like a heist season, kind of.
Sort of. I think what really made the season, maybe even more than the heroes, was the villains. Because they had just like a really great dynamic. It was like you had your team of heroes and you had your team of villains, and they're both competing against each other. And the Spirit of Destiny was just really cool too.
Was Constantine in that season?
No, he's actually in this season though.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, he was at the end of the season break episode.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they actually got rid of a character, so I'm hoping that actually Matt Ryan, I think is his name, stays on as Constantine for the rest of the series. It's probably not going to happen, but I really hope it does.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I just like the character. My runner-up was actually Arrow.
Arrow, okay.
That was a good season, surprisingly. It moved away sort of from the romance between Arrow and Felicity. It was more about, like him training up a team, and then just like everything that led to with the villain Prometheus. That season end cliffhanger was so like devastating. I mean, it turned out to be not as devastating as you would have thought, but like just like that season alone was really good.
Oh,
the worst television season I saw last year, I think was, or I wouldn't say it's the worst. It was like the most disappointing to me was The Flash.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard it got a little weird that season because it was the Flashpoint season or something, right? It was like he was like in an alternate,
post Flashpoint,
alternate dimension or something like that.
He created an alternate timeline.
Oh, okay.
It was just like really like it was another speedster villain, and then it turned out to be him from the future. And that's a spoiler. I don't know if you haven't seen the show, you're not probably gonna watch it anyway. And if you already saw the show, you already know. But it wasn't like a satisfying twist at all in any way. It wasn't satisfying at all.
All right, what's the next category?
Next category is best on-screen moment.
Best on-screen moment. Okay, so this one, the way I categorize like the best moment is the one that I react to the most. Mm-hmm. The one that either puts the biggest smile on my face or puts the biggest hole in my heart.
It elicits the most emotion. I guess.
Yeah. It's exciting. It could be sad. It could be anything.
So what do you think mine was?
I think your best moment maybe was the end scene of Justice League where they showed the team all standing together. Like, yeah, that moment.
No.
Okay, was it the Batman moment then? At the beginning of that movie where he attacks the burglar guy on the rooftop?
No.
Damn it.
Dude, the one that was so emotional for me that made me like shed a tear or two was in Wonder Woman, the death of Steve Trevor, and then like the God mode that she went into following that.
Yeah, that was
so impactful.
That was a great moment. You're right. Okay. Yeah, you totally get that.
Yeah. That was like so heartbreaking. I think it was one of the most powerful just scenes like in any film I've seen this year, period.
Mm-hmm. Chris Pine acted the shit out of that scene.
Oh yeah.
And so did Gal Gadot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, big time. Yeah, the acting was phenomenal. And then everything that followed after that, I was just like woke her up essentially. Mm-hmm. That was like just really powerful. It was just like really, really like I don't want to say intense, but it was really had a lot of like gravity to it.
Yeah, definitely.
My runner-up was actually No Man's Land. My runner-up was really hard to choose between two.
From Wonder Woman, when she walked across the trenches.
When we see her in the costume for the first time, and she's walking across, it's slow motion, and they have the music, and it was just like, here's this woman standing up to this army. I thought it was a really good, really powerful moment.
Dang, I should have thought of that one.
To me, it was a lot like when Henry Cavill like did his first flight sequence in Man of Steel for the first time. It was just a really good moment. Yeah. But like I had a hard time choosing between that and like a Superman Returns scene in Justice League when he fights the rest of the League members. But really, I didn't ultimately choose that one because of the CG face.
Yeah.
CG mouth.
Yeah.
So I went with No Man's Land.
Okay.
My worst on-screen moment, I thought, was the children interviewing Superman at the beginning of, of Justice League.
Yeah.
Just right from that scene, I was like, oh, fuck. Fuck. There's nothing else you could do at that moment. It just really sent a really bad taste in my mouth at the beginning of the film, which was not what you want at the beginning of the film.
Right.
The CG was just really
and
bad.
The kids were really cartoony, and it was not good. And they never addressed it again. It was completely unnecessary.
It was useless. It was a useless scene.
Right. Interesting.
So.
Good picks for that one.
Thanks.
I feel like that's your best category so far. Like the one I agree with you the most.
Yeah.
What about me? So best on-screen moment for Marvel films 2017.
Yeah. Thor fighting the Hulk?
Nope. I give the award for best on-screen moment to Logan's death scene.
Oh my gosh. Yes,
where
of course.
He says, she's saying goodbye to him. She's saying daddy, and he says, don't be what they made you. Things like that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so powerful. I'm so disappointed that Jackman wasn't he's not in the running for best Oscar because I think he acted his heart out in that scene in this whole movie. Well, he's not.
They haven't announced any. Oh, he's not like in any of like the preliminary award.
Right, like it wasn't like even for Golden Globes, it wasn't in the running for like best film or anything like that.
Comic book films are getting totally snobbed at this award season.
Yeah,
I hope they're not snobbed.
And usually the Golden Globes are pretty cool. Like they're pretty cool about that, but not this year. They're fuck them.
Yeah.
Anyway, Logan was by far one of the best films of this year. It should be on every list because it transcended the genre. I think. Mm-hmm. It was a superhero film. It was an actual film. It wasn't just a piece of entertainment. It had depth to it.
I think it kind of got overshadowed by Wonder Woman in a way because you look at like the AFI's top 10 films of the year. Logan wasn't on that list, but Wonder Woman was.
Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, that was the best moment, and I think that moment also includes the speech that X-23 gave at the end from that Western movie, and then Shane turning the cross into the X and everything like that. And just it ended on such a powerful moment.
Yeah. I remember leaving the theater thinking like, if they like never made another superhero film again, like that was like a completely adequate end to like a superhero.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Great moment. So my runner-up, there are quite a few moments I think from this year that could have made my runner-up slot. Like the Defenders, when they first fought in Midland Circle, that could have been it. The God of Hammers moment from Thor Ragnarok could have made it. But eventually I gave it to Yondu's funeral scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought that was just a fantastic emotional moment. I mean, a lot of it may have had to do with the song by Cat Stevens, the father and son song. But just between that and all these great character moments that you have in that moment, and Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is more of a character piece than, like a compelling narrative. But it all culminated right there, and the fact that the scene ended with, Rocket Raccoon and him coming to the realization of who his family is, and, the tear falling down his face is such a kind of a weird way to end a film like that, but so moving, so touching. I love it more every time I watch that film. It just means a lot to me.
I think that whole scene was lost on me just because I still find it hard to grasp the fact that Peter would accept Yondu as his father, someone who was really meant to him and essentially kidnapped him.
They still had a lot of good moments too, though. And I think he remembered a lot of that as he was fighting Ego in that film. So yeah, it was just a great scene, especially with the other Ravagers and everything like that. It was just, I loved it. The worst moment has got to go to when Medusa got a haircut in the Inhumans, because it was actually a metaphor for the series in general. I think it was neutered, and obviously it was done not just for story purposes, but mainly for financial purposes. They didn't want to have to animate her hair for the whole show, and I really think the character lost a lot in that. We didn't really even get to find out who Medusa was in the Inhuman show before they, took a pair of Target clippers to her head. It was just horrible. And the fact that, it was done in the first episode, it was bad. It was bad. It made me mad, and the show didn't get any better from there.
Yeah.
So what's the next category?
Next category is Best New On-Screen Character. This is a new one for this year.
Yes. Okay. For you, do Flash and Aquaman count as new on-screen characters, even though they were in BVS?
I'm counting them as new on-screen characters because, you really didn't see them in costume, or and you didn't really know their names,
Well, we saw Flash in costume in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Capturing Captain Boomerang.
Yeah. It was a little Easter egg.
Do you count that?
I guess
that's going to affect my guess.
No, I don't count Flash.
You don't count Flash?
No.
So you do consider him a new on-screen character, or you don't consider him?
I don't consider Flash a new on-screen character.
Okay, so then it has to go to Aquaman, or no, Cyborg. Cyborg.
Is that your final guess?
Yes, Cyborg.
Yes, Cyborg.
Yay!
Cyborg gets my award for the best new on-screen character.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Actually, I think we switched this up. I think you were supposed to go first, but
oh well.
I think all three of the characters, I guess, well, again, I'm not considering Flash new, I guess. So I guess between Aquaman and Cyborg, I just thought Cyborg was more interesting. He's more of like a Frankenstein character, compared to I guess Arthur's, I guess King Arthur sort of archetype. Just this dynamic of he's just having trouble adjusting to who he is right now. I thought there were some really, really interesting dialogue moments in Justice League.
Cyborg was a far more interesting character than I even expected him to be.
Mm-hmm.
I found him to be one of my favorite characters of that film.
Yeah.
And he also because he had a lot to do with the plot.
He pushed the narrative forward, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think just going into new films, he may not be getting his own film, or at least he's not on the new slate for films. But I definitely think of those three characters, he may be the most relevant,
Yeah.
With technology and stuff like that. You could really do a lot with the character.
Yeah.
And of course we're getting the Aquaman film, but for me, Cyborg was definitely a standout in the film.
Yeah. And Ray Fisher did such a great job with the character.
He did a perfect job with the character. He was just a really, really good actor. I hope Ray Fisher gets a ton more work because of this.
Yeah. Yep.
My runner-up is Aquaman, actually. Okay. I'm super excited that he's getting his new film. When I see stills from the film, I get definitely more excited. I can't wait for any kind of teaser or trailer.
I want to see what Black Manta looks like.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And Mara, I'm looking forward to revisiting those characters and seeing the world of Atlantis.
Yeah.
And I think Jason Momoa, he definitely plays Aquaman Jason Momoa, but it's a compelling take on the character. It's I guess it's a new way of depicting the character. But even then, if you grew up, reading comics in the 90s, not really, because, Aquaman was kind of like that gruff kind of gladiator.
Are you talking about the harpoon hand Aquaman?
Yeah.
And then from the 90s when he had the long hair and the beard and everything like that?
And right now in the comics, he has long hair and a beard again. Probably because of the movie, but I think it's going to stick around for a while. Yeah. It differentiates him from other heroes.
Yeah. So he's not just like blonde Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
In the water.
Right. Very cool.
My worst new on-screen character is Steppenwolf. Holy shit! What the fuck? that was just a horrible character, and I think a lot of it has to do with studio involvement in what they left on the cutting room floor. Mm-hmm. I think he could have been a much more compelling character. I just think too much was cut, and the fact that it didn't really lead to like Darkseid, really bothered me. Like, no one who wants a Justice League movie wants the main villain to be Steppenwolf.
Right.
And so I just thought it was just not a good character, not well fleshed out, and just really poorly done CG-wise. Yeah. It wasn't the worst CG by any means, but you could definitely tell there wasn't a real person there.
And it was kind of unnecessary for him to be CG too.
Exactly. Yeah, just really sucky.
All right, so for me...
Best new on-screen character for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with X-23.
No. Close. I give it to Legion.
Okay.
So Legion gets the award for Best New On-Screen Character. I think that character is just fascinating, especially the way Dan Stephen portrays him. I already talked a lot about him, but if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't seen the show, see the show, because it'll be worth it.
I don't see the shows, so I have no context for that. You liked him more than Daphne Keane?
Yes.
She your runner-up?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, X-23 is my runner-up. I thought Daphne Keane did an awesome job portraying X-23 in Logan. She's not quite the superhero that she is in the comics yet. Like, she doesn't have the outfit or anything like that. She's not quite as confident.
Logan never really got the outfit.
But she was such an interesting, complex character, especially, how she was, like, mute in the beginning, and she was kind of discovering this whole new world and, learning what it's like to eat at the dinner table and things like that. And then all of a sudden, she's able to speak, and, she's super adorable, but she's also super fierce and, able to really handle her own and is quite scary, actually, in when she fights. So I thought she was a fantastic character.
Yeah.
And the worst new on-screen character, unfortunately, it breaks my heart to do this. I got to give it to Black Bolt.
Really?
Not necessarily because I thought Anson Mount did a bad job.
I think you were saying he did the best job of that series.
He did, but he's the head of the Inhumans. I think he's the most interesting member of the Inhumans, being the king of them. And to me, it was the biggest letdown.
Okay, yeah.
He was the best part of the show, but he still should have been so much better. It's freaking Black Bolt, and this is the portrayal we got, and it's not the acting, it's mostly the script and the effects and everything else besides the acting. I don't hold any ill will to Anson Mount, but I do think that this is not nearly the character that we should have gotten. Mm-hmm. So worst new on-screen character, I think, was Black Bolt. Even more so than the other Inhumans, because basically I was expecting more. All right.
Next category is best on-screen villain. I'll start with you. Let's see. Probably not anything from Logan.
No.
I don't know. Would you consider Hela? I'll just go with Hela.
Really?
No.
I wasn't too impressed by Hela. My pick...
Shadow King.
No. The best on-screen villain award for Marvel for 2017 goes to Vulture from Spider-Man.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Michael Keane is just a badass. He did such a good job with this role. I didn't know what I was expecting, but we got something like very grounded and very real. I totally agreed with his motivations as a villain. He was a formidable foe for Spider-Man, nearly killing him twice a few times.
Menacing, definitely menacing.
Definitely menacing. More
Definitely
menacing
grounded, too.
than the Vulture ever deserved to be. We're talking about like a C-list villain that, they haven't used him in previous movies because he's not the most compelling villain in the Spider-Man stable. But in the movies, he was right up there, like close to, Doc Ock for me in terms of Spider-Man on-screen villains. I thought they handled him really well. And Michael Keaton.
I think he probably is like the second best on-screen Spider-Man villain we've had.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My runner-up is Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Mainly because I liked Ego more than the others. I liked him more than Hela. I liked him more than X-24 or the Reavers or anything like that. Donald Pierce, from Logan.
Yeah.
So, I basically by default, he wins the runner-up prize. But also, I thought Kurt Russell did a good job with the character. He didn't have the most complex plan, but because, like I said, it was more of a character piece. But he was an interesting character to me.
He sort of almost like wasn't like he definitely didn't consider himself a villain. Like it wasn't like any. It wasn't a villainous role because for a majority of the film, like he's this good guy.
Yeah.
And there's, it's not until the end that you realize, oh, this is much more sinister than we realized.
Yeah. And like Michael Keaton's portrayal, you kind of could see, like, while you didn't agree with his...
you could relate to him.
With his motivations, you could understand where he was coming from, basically.
Yeah.
You have this supreme being who's growing bored and really just wants to encompass everything, and be part of everything.
Yeah.
So I thought he did a great job with that. The worst on-screen villain I got to give to Alexandra from The Defenders.
Oh, gosh.
When they announced Sigourney Weaver at the New York Comic Con in 2016 as the villain of The Defenders television show, I was super excited.
We all thought she was going to be like Mephisto.
Yeah.
Or someone
And she ended up being a nobody. You know, she wasn't in the comics. She ended up being the leader of the Hand. She was eliminated halfway through, kind of like how Cottonmouth was in Luke Cage. She
I wouldn't say it was halfway through. It was
2/3 of the way through, 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
She was just ineffectual, and I thought she was actually kind of annoying a little bit, especially toward the end there.
Yeah.
Like, I was glad that she died when she died.
No, I would say from the moment she first appeared on screen to the moment she was killed, I just hated the character.
Yeah.
I was like, ugh.
All right, next category.
No. You still have to guess my villains.
Oh, you haven't gone over your villains yet?
No.
Okay. Worst villain, Steppenwolf.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But what was the best?
Oh, best villain, Ares.
He was good. He's my runner-up. But my award goes to Lego Joker.
Really?
Yeah. To me, Lego Joker was simply like the most
fitting
accomplished.
Antagonist? Oh, the
most accomplished antagonist. Who else? When else in movie history are you going to have a villain that gets Voldemort and King Kong and like the Wicked Witch,
Sauron,
and like Sauron? Yeah, all these hero villains or villains to like team up. But not only that, I just thought that like Zach Gelf, I thought the writers really got the Joker too in terms of like his relationship with Batman. I think that's one thing they really got. I mean, it's not really Joker and Batman. It's it's Lego Joker and Lego Batman. But I think there was still like an aspect to the relationship where the Joker just really wanted Batman to elicit some kind of emotion towards him because the Joker's so passionate about Batman.
I think they nailed that relationship more than Suicide Squad did. Like it was a better version of the Joker. Yeah. Because the Joker does define himself a lot through his relationship with Batman.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like the biggest aspect of his life. He's obsessed with Batman. And so I think this Joker is right up there in the Joker pantheon with Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. Mm-hmm. He's not the best, but he was definitely the best villain this year, I think, for DC.
Nice.
And just his plan was just hilarious. I didn't know where it was going, and I think that's what I liked about it too. Was that like the Joker is supposed to be sort of this maniacal kind of mastermind, and the fact that I didn't know where his plan was going, I thought that was appropriate. When they locked up all the supervillains around him, all the Batman's Rogues Gallery, and the Riddler's like, riddle me this. What just happened? I was cracking up, and I was like, yeah, it was intriguing what's going on here. It was a good plan.
Yeah.
So my runner-up was Ares, which to me was less comic book Ares and more really like Judeo-Christian, like devil. in a way. If like Zeus, is like God, he has like the son who like doesn't like his creation. It was very like Paradise Lost Lucifer to me.
Well, that's we never discussed that in the review, but that's a very interesting take.
We sort of did. Yeah. It's definitely a different take on Ares,
Interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think even in the imagery when like he has, when he shows Diana like the world that could be, it was very like Garden of Eden, It was a very Zack Snyder approach because he approaches a lot of his stuff from like a philosophical kind of religious almost approach, you know. So I really liked the character, and he was just so badass at the end, so badass. Like you were talking about, like why doesn't Magneto do this kind of stuff? It's like because Ares does
like
it.
create swords and stuff like that.
Yeah, just a really cool villain. I thought the end fight I was really, really happy with. And he's just like trying to tempt her, like join the dark side, kind of thing. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And Steppenwolf, I don't know if there's anything else I could say about him. He sucks. Worst villain. What the fuck? Moving on.
All right. So the next category is best on-screen hero. All right. So I'm gonna guess your best on-screen hero for 2017 was Wonder Woman.
How'd you guess? Yeah. I mean, I think it's undisputable. Her movie, she knocked it out of the park. It was just a really great character. I think it brought the character into the limelight for a lot of people, because a lot of people may not be as familiar with Wonder Woman as they are with like Batman or Superman. I think it was a really, really good origin film, and I think it's I'm really glad of the approach they took with the character, just doing the period piece. Sort of Captain America First Avenger-ing it.
Yeah, they could have done it so wrong. Like you read Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman script.
Oh my gosh,
and you realize like they could have gone down some weird pathways with the character. It's not the easiest character to adapt to film, but the way they did it was near perfect.
Yeah, hands down. And I love the fact that they incorporated sort of like both aspects of her origin, sort of like made from clay, but then what they recently did in the New 52 in the comics, where she's actually a daughter of Zeus.
Yeah,
it's easy to digest.
Yeah,
and that was always like my biggest fear of a Wonder Woman movie. But anyway, I mean, like let's talk about the movie. To get back to the character, I thought she appeared twice this year in 2 films. I thought she was badass in both. I thought she was really good. Really, really speaks to the strength of the character, and just she's now definitely cemented as one of the Trinity in DC.
Yeah.
My runner-up is Superman.
Superman?
Yeah.
That was good. I was gonna say him, possibly name him as your best hero, but then I remembered Wonder Woman.
Right.
So,
and really, he gets the runner-up. This was a tough choice, but he gets the runner-up just because it's sort of a return to form of what people want him to be. Yeah, just like this hopeful, just like really powerful kind of character. And I think Henry Cavill, again, I think I mentioned this during a review. Kudos to him for being able to play both a dour and like an uplifting Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. This is like the first time that we've seen this character played correctly in this incarnation. Maybe even since, Reeves' Superman.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
And I don't know if I would use I guess correct could be used to describe it. Because I really was fascinated by Zack Snyder's Superman, but I think I can't deny the fact that this Superman is also like really, really appealing. Like this is comic book Superman,
Right.
So that's pretty cool. My worst on-screen hero I thought was Robin from Lego Batman.
From
just
Lego
really
Batman.
Annoying. Really, I mean, and I think he was meant to be in a way. And I really liked Michael Cera's like voice performance, but it's not my favorite Robin, not my favorite interpretation of Robin by any means. Just way too like gee golly. It's more like 60s, I guess, in a way, like 60s TV show. But even like worse than that, it's like a parody of that.
Yeah, like a parody of Burt Ward.
Yeah.
All right. So for Marvel, the best 2017 on-screen hero award goes to
Thor.
No, it goes to Spider-Man. Mainly for the same reason that you gave it to
Superman.
The runner-up to Superman. I think
it's a return to form.
Yeah, it was a return to form for Spider-Man. Actually, even more so than Superman, because we've gotten a great portrayal of Superman in the Reeves films. Spider-Man Homecoming is the greatest portrayal of Spider-Man that we've ever gotten. And I thought, his portrayal, his motivations, growing as a hero, the lessons that he learned in his film were all spot on and appealing, I think. So he appeals to me as the best hero for Marvel for this year, I think.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Although I thought you were going to give it to Logan, not going to lie.
You thought, well,
Even though I didn't guess
Logan
that.
was good, but like Logan, that was a movie about a hero past his prime, and that was the narrative and the appeal behind that film. So he wasn't quite as heroic in that film. He was a little bit more kind of a downer and kind of a jerk and things like that. So I wouldn't give him the best on-screen hero award. I would give it to Spider-Man.
Just Wolverine in general, though.
Yeah, but even more so in that film, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he was and he pulled off a great heroic act in the end. It all kind of depends on how you define this award. And for me, it was best on-screen hero means the character as they are portrayed in the comics, being, doing heroic things, performing amazing feats, and just being an all-around best example of that character that you could get on film.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So runner-up for me was Thor, and mainly because of his journey through that film and the things that he had to go through and what he persevered through, what he was able to accomplish, the ringer that he was put through in that film, I thought was a lot, and where he ended up compared to where he started in the film, I thought made him very heroic, and he was one of my favorite characters. So I give him the runner-up award for best on-screen hero for 2017. Worst on-screen hero.
Let me guess. Black Bolt.
No. So I didn't give it to Black Bolt because I thought, despite the script and everything, he was still the best part of the Inhumans. I still, when he spoke for the first time, I thought that was pretty incredible. And, the performance. I loved Anson Mount's performance. It was very nuanced, very emotional. Yeah, I did. I mean, even though, Black Bolt gets the worst new on-screen character, I still think that he doesn't get the worst hero award.
Okay.
He just got that because he was new and because my expectations weren't met. But I still think he did a better job with the character than Iron Fist.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Than what Finn Jones did with Iron Fist. I think Black Bolt, he was bad because of the limitations that were put on him by the script. He could have been better because he is a good actor, Anson Mount. Iron Fist,
you sort of
the
same thing though,
huh?
Like the writing should have been better. He had limitations placed on him too.
Yeah, same thing with the fight choreography and everything like that. But there's something about the character that I think could have been so much more even within the material that he was given. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Finn Jones got a little bit better with the Defenders television show.
I agree.
But with the Iron Fist season 1, and that's really where I'm pulling this award from, was from that performance and from those actions and everything like that. He was just a naive, dumb,
which didn't make sense for the story.
Not a great fighter,
because he was supposed to be the Iron Fist. He was supposed to be above all of that.
Yeah, you don't believe that he kind of really accomplished the greatest honor to ever have in Kunlun,
Yeah,
things like that. It was just a weird portrayal. So I give him the worst on-screen hero award for 2017.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Next award is Best Actor of 2017. So for you, I'm going to guess Logan.
Hugh Jackman.
Jackman, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman wins Best Actor Award for Marvel 2017 for reasons that don't really need to be said. It was the performance of a lifetime, I think I said earlier. And I'm really sad to see him go, but I'm glad that he went out like this.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Just a great all-around performance. I'm going to miss him.
Just emotional, both as a viewer and emotional just in terms of performance. Because, you definitely felt what, Logan was feeling. And he just acted the shit out of that role for the final time. It was such a great, swan song, I guess.
The best performance of that character in a career in which he was, the best part of that whole franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, goes without saying that he would obviously get the award for Best Actor this year. Runner-up is Dan Stevens for Legion. Legion is a character with multiple personality disorder. He has severe mental issues that the television show didn't shy away from. And I think it was just a fascinating character. Like at the beginning, when he was in the mental institution, he had these tics about him that were, I don't think a lot of actors could pull off. He just gave a performance that I think suited him well and was just interesting. I don't know how else to explain it. You have to see the show. But yeah, runner-up Dan Stevens. And the worst actor, I thought, was Finn Jones for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
For reasons that I stated in the last award.
Yeah.
I just don't think he, even given the material that he was given, he made some performance choices in terms, like, he just seemed like a little kid for a lot of it. Just didn't like it. Again, he did compensate for some of that in the Defenders television show. I liked him a lot more in the Defenders, and maybe that was due to the growth that he experienced in Iron Fist season 1. But I mean,
Yeah.
still worst actor.
Yeah. Okay. So on my end,
Wait, best actor goes to Chris Evans. I mean, not Chris Evans. Same guy though. Chris Pine.
It's like the SNL skit or opening monologue
Chris
he
Pine?
did. Yeah, Chris Pine for Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
I thought he was a great sort of like, he wasn't like the generic everyman that I thought he was going to be. He definitely had his own agenda, his own motives, his own, story arc. He wasn't any less heroic than Wonder Woman in this movie, I thought.
Yeah. Right.
And I thought Chris Pine, just like even the scene where he was like wrapped up in the lasso, you could see that it's uncomfortable for him, you know? And it's like, it's not like they used a real lasso on him. That's all acting. So and then, his final scene where he sacrifices himself, he is like emoting his thought process, and you understand like exactly what he's feeling and thinking at that moment.
That's so good.
He just did a really good job with the character and just like, being the catalyst for everything sort of that like moves forward. Wonder Woman definitely has agency, but Chris Pine definitely like helps move things forward.
I think it's Chris Pine's best role that he's ever had. And that includes, his turn as Captain Kirk and everything like that. I think this role was better for him. I think he did fantastic in it.
He was funny. He was heroic. He was, he just had so many great moments. He definitely did the character justice.
Yeah.
Definitely did the character justice.
Okay.
And for the longest time, Steve Trevor wasn't really a thing in the comics. They sort of moved away from him just to focus on like Wonder Woman being her own her own woman.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if Chris Pine isn't in the next Wonder Woman movie, I'm going to be sad because I think he was a really big part of the movie. And like in a movie where you're dealing with this like feminist icon, it was really nice to have a male character that like really shined.
Yeah, I don't think he's needed in a sequel because I think while he had a good part, I don't think he
may not
ever came to define the character. And I think
Right.
Justice League showed that she did a good job of standing on her own, even though she was part of a team.
Yeah.
But she didn't need him
Right.
To be cool. But yeah, I'd like to see him in a sequel too.
Yeah, she definitely doesn't need him. I agree with that. Yeah. And he's definitely probably not even, you're right, necessary for a sequel. He doesn't need to be in a sequel, but I just really liked Chris Pine's performance a lot.
Yeah.
And then my runner-up was Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. He won my award last year for Best Actor.
But like, I didn't think his performance was all that memorable in Justice League.
There were moments. There were moments where his interactions with the other actors and other characters in the film, I think Ben Affleck is just acting circles around them in a lot of scenes. To me, Ben Affleck is still like my favorite Batman actor, in terms of like translating the character from the comic, like a one-to-one translation. I think he lines up the most with what exists in the comic. Mm-hmm. Why are you surprised by that?
I don't know. I just thought, like, if we're talking performances, I thought Ray Fisher had a better acting performance than Ben Affleck in Justice League.
Oh, Ray Fisher definitely was a contender, but it's also like Batman. It's also like Ben Affleck, talking about when he was saying how much Superman means to him and means to the world, it means to this team. I thought it was really well done. Really good performance.
Yeah, it's your award, man.
So you would have given it to Ray Fisher?
Yeah, I think I would have.
The worst actor I thought was Danny Houston for Ludendorff.
Oh yeah, he's so.
I thought it was just like
campy.
It was campy. It was kind of all over the place too. And one scene he's menacing, and in another scene he's like giggling, and it's just like I didn't.
He He's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, definitely inconsistent. The character was never really menacing to me, you know, and I think he was supposed to be. Whenever you have like a villain character, sort of like in his opening scene, just like kill another person for like no reason, to me that's always like a red flag. Like they're trying to like make you afraid of this character, but like I never was. You know, the scene in the movie when like he's talking to the soldier and he's like, you know, I haven't eaten for days or whatever, and bam, you know, he just kills that soldier for like no reason.
Yeah.
It's just because you're an asshole character. Okay.
Yeah, no one's gonna follow you.
No, I know, right? Yeah. So for you, best actor.
No, I already did my best actor.
Your best actor.
We're moving on to
best actress.
Yes.
Best actress for you. Jeez.
Well, I'm supposed to name your best actress now.
Yes. Go ahead.
Gal Gadot.
Yes. That was easy. She is Wonder Woman. Like, holy cow, she is Wonder Woman.
It's good to have an actress in the role who not only does a good job with the role, but hasn't had a whole lot of credits to her name prior to getting the role.
Yeah, like Christopher Reeve.
Because it's really too easy to see her as Wonder Woman as opposed to anybody else.
Yeah, super easy. I think she's the new Angelina Jolie to me. You know,
I don't know what that means.
She's just a really, really not only talented, not only attractive, but just like in terms of like what she's doing out in the community too. Like she really, I think, is owning this character. The fact that like she refused to sign on to like the next Wonder Woman movie until like Brett Ratner was no longer involved with Wonder Woman. She knows her character, and I think she's representing her character in the real world. You know, in the same like stuff that Angelina Jolie does out in the world, like trying to save the world. I wouldn't say Gal Gadot is going that far, but she's I think a really standout actress in Hollywood right now, I believe. And it makes sense after what she was able to do with Wonder Woman. You really felt what she was acting, especially like in the God mode scene, the death of Steve Trevor and everything like that.
She has such an emotive face.
Yeah, she does. She's really good like face acting. Like whether she's, you know, confused or whether she's, you know, sad or happy or distraught, you see it all and you feel it all. And especially the fact that she's still considered like a new actress. All the props go to her for being able to accomplish what she did with this role and with this character. You know,
good one.
My runner-up was for best actress was Robin Wright as Antiope.
Oh yes, I thought you were gonna go like Amy Adams or something like that.
No.
Yeah.
She didn't have the biggest role.
She was one of my favorite characters of Wonder Woman, though.
Yeah,
I was so disappointed when her role got cut down in terms of screen time in Justice League.
Yeah, she was supposed to have like speaking roles in that movie.
Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah. It's just a really powerful death scene. Just really good mentor figure on Themyscira.
I thought she did a great job with the accent as well.
Yeah, totally.
Probably better than any of the other Amazons. She's great.
The worst actress I thought was Lucy Davis as Etta Candy.
Yes. Oh God, I was hoping it would be her.
Not really because I didn't like the character. I thought, you know, she made me chuckle a few times, but it wasn't really anything more than that. And the more I watch her, I think you really got to me during our review.
Really?
When you were talking about like how, you know, there's this like famous comedian. She was in The Office, you know, the British version. You know, she should be like this really good like improvisationalist.
Sure. Improviser.
There we go. And she really just failed at that. And I noticed it more and more with each viewing.
Yeah.
It's like you could have done something right there, but you just kind of like...
You kind of just grunted and murmured.
Yeah. So I think like as a comedian, she kind of didn't do what she could have done with that role.
Yeah. I totally agree. All right. So do you have a guess for Marvel's Best Actress of 2017?
Would it be Daphne Keane?
Yeah. Good job.
Nice.
So she's young, but she did so much with that role. Daphne Keane playing X-23 in the Logan movie. Again, she started out as being this naive, kind of almost feral child to, you know, really growing as a character, you know, and the way she kind of like mothered Logan at the end and the way she was speaking to him and everything like that. She had huge character growth. She was funny. She was scary. She did just a great job. And especially the end when she was crying and, you know, she called him daddy for the first time. It was just heartbreaking. And the speech that she gave at the end, just everything. I thought she did a fantastic job with that role.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to make an X-23 movie due to the Disney acquisition of Fox, but I hope we see a lot more of the actress, I think, in other roles, because I think she has a bright future ahead of her with how good of an actress she is.
I really hope they somehow incorporate her into the Deadpool movies, because I think the Deadpool movies are going to stick over or carry over.
No, they can't do that, because if you carry X-23 over to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then that means that Logan is dead in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Damn it. Yeah, so. You can't do that. I guess she's done.
Yeah. It's too bad.
Damn.
My runner-up goes to Pom Klementieff, mainly because her role really stood out to me in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as Mantis, more so than any of the other actresses, including, Nebula and Gamora. And, there weren't a whole lot of standout female performances in Marvel. I guess you could say like Tessa Thompson or
I was going to say.
Or Hela, but they didn't stand out to me as much as Mantis did. I thought Mantis was just a fascinating character. And
they were both kind of generic compared to Mantis. Mantis, I would not say was generic.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Mantis is a wholly original character that you can't really compare anything to a whole lot.
She's really sweet,
really funny, and she's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most in the next Guardians film and in Infinity War with when the Guardians interact with everybody. So I give it to her. Worst has got to go to Serinda Swan, who played Medusa in the Inhumans television show.
Dude, you're so lucky you have a show like Inhumans where you could just like deal out the worst just shit on. Too. Yeah.
I really like Serinda Swan as an actress, and I thought she was perfectly suited to this role, but she was so angry in her performance as Medusa throughout the whole thing. Like, she was just rude. Like, I couldn't believe. Like, I was like, Medusa is not supposed to act like this. Like, stop being a jerk. You're not Medusa. Like, this is like, you don't have the hair, and you're a jerk, and all this stuff. Just stop.
Was she like trying to like express regality or royalty?
Yeah, she was a little like flippant, and it's like, why would I ever root for this character? Like, she treated like Earth people like they were nothing.
Really,
it just sucked, and that was one of the worst parts of that show, I think. Was her performance. So, worst actress award to Serinda Swan. All right.
Okay, so last and final award, the big one, Best Motion Picture of 2017. This for me is easy for you. This is going to Logan.
Yeah, Logan, obviously. I think it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture. I think it's one of the most exemplary Marvel films that have ever been made. I'd put it almost on par with like The Dark Knight in terms of how much it surpassed genre expectations and genre conventions, and really became a film that I thought would be remembered for a really long time, but it's not getting a whole lot of recognition from any of the awards.
That's why the studios always dump their like worst films at the beginning of the years, because by the time holiday season comes around and award season, like no one remembers them.
Well, the film came out in March. I was hoping that wouldn't be to its detriment. I don't know. I'm just really disappointed in the lack of recognition it's getting.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I truly think it was a great film. I really, more so than any other film that came out this year, I think it's my favorite film that came out this year. And that includes non-Marvel movies, too. I just think it was really well made, well done. Good story, great performances, great direction, cinematography, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. A near perfect film.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart was amazing. Just everybody was amazing in it. Patrick Stewart could have gotten my runner-up for Best Actor award if I didn't give it to Dan Stevens. That was my best movie for Marvel. Runner-up would be Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was a fantastic film. Really took the character in new directions. And it was interesting how they made it a comedy, I think. Like, I thought I would hate it, the comedy aspect of it, more than I actually did. It was unique in that regard. It was completely unlike not just any Marvel film, although I would say it's probably comparable to Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not comparable to any other film that I've seen this year. No, I think it kind of defined this year in a way that I think most movies didn't, even Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it almost pulled Guardians of the Galaxy off better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2 did.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think that, I just want to say before I name my worst film, I don't think there were any bad Marvel films this year. You had Logan, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok. Those 4 films, none of them were bad. They were all great. They all got 4 stars or better. But if I had to pick one that I thought was not the best out of those,
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
It would be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I think mostly because of the story. Like, I think this is my 3rd time saying it. It was more of a character piece than a compelling narrative. But, I mean, the characters are so great that it made up for it.
I don't want to say it's like a throwaway movie, but, like...
It was inconsequential.
Yeah, definitely.
More so than Spider-Man or Thor or Logan.
For sure.
It had some great moments, but if I have to give the award out, then it's going to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That makes sense. Yeah, totally makes sense.
For DC, I think your best film was Wonder Woman, obviously.
Yeah.
And I got to say, your middle film was Justice League, and your worst film was Lego Batman?
No.
Damn it.
So my best film of the year was definitely Wonder Woman. Such a great origin story. A great introduction, again, as I said earlier, of the character to a lot of people, I think. Mm-hmm. For me, it's like right up there with, like Batman Begins, because I thought that was a really great introduction to the character as well.
Yeah. One of the best origin story to come out in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I thought the villain was compelling. I know a lot of people would disagree probably with that, but I thought the supporting cast was so good. It not only was it like just like a good story too. I thought the action was pretty well done as well.
Yeah.
It checked all the boxes in terms of, for me, what makes a good superhero film. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was great. It was definitely a great film. The best film I think DC put out this year. Mm-hmm. The runner-up for me is the Lego Batman movie. I really liked that film. I really liked just sort of like the Funhouse Mirror kind of parody of the Batman mythos that it brought.
Well, I remember in our review, you definitely liked it more than I did.
I thought it was really fun. A really, really fun movie. It was just exciting to see, like, because I also was a big fan of the Lego movie, and just to see, like, where they went from there, Mm-hmm. I thought it was really well made.
But I would watch Justice League any day of the week over Lego Batman movie again.
It's just really hard to not like the film, because I saw it with my daughters, and they just were cracking up the whole time. So was I with Lego Batman. We definitely had more of a response to Lego Batman than we did watching Justice League. Mm-hmm. And while I don't think, Justice League was a horrible film by any means, I did think it was the weakest of the 3 films that DC put out this year.
Of the 3 films, it definitely went the lowest below my expectations.
Yeah, same here.
All right, that does it for the 2017 Brothers Awards. I have to say, I agree with a lot of your choices.
I think I agree with all of your choices.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm really excited that we got the year that we did. I think we have a lot to look forward to, a lot to be thankful for this year. I hope all the subsequent years after this are just like this year.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think, like, news-wise, I think it was really hard on Marvel Comics and really hard on DC films, for the most part. I mean, earlier this year with Wonder Woman, it was good, but, like, post Wonder Woman, it's been really hard as a DC fan. And I hope next year, I hope next year people start recognizing that DC doesn't necessarily have to be a competitor to their beloved Marvel characters. I think DC.
Yes, they do.
I think the DC films could be just as good as the Marvel movies. And there's room at the table for everyone.
Well, there's only like a couple DC films coming out next year, so we're going to be doing a lot of.
There's like one.
Well, there's 2 with Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
So another animated film for you. But we're going to be doing a lot of throwback reviews, especially since we're switching to a weekly format. So there's going to be a lot of former ground to cover from the past, and we'll have a lot of more guest spots on reviewing those older films from DC. So you could relive some of the glory days through The Dark Knight and Batman Begins and Superman the movie, things like that. But that does it for this episode. It's been a hell of a year. 2018 with 8 Marvel movies coming out is going to be a hell of a year. Really looking forward to it. And
let us know like what you think of our award decisions and maybe other different choices you would have made.
Yeah.
On Twitter or Instagram or Facebook.
I always like when people comment on the best moment, on-screen moment award, because I'm always like, oh yeah, that was a great moment. Oh yeah. That's it for this year. Thank you so much for listening. If you've subscribed during this year, thank you very much for subscribing to the podcast. Please tell all of your friends about the show, not just the ones that you think would be interested in the show. Just tell all of your friends. Like go down the line, like count up all your friends, and then go down the line, send them a text message or something like that. Just tell them about the show, and tell them that we're going weekly. So that because that's big news.
Yeah.
Next episode, what are we doing next episode? The first episode of 2018.
I think it's Flash versus Quicksilver.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dual episode. So we're gonna talk about who's gonna win in a fight between the Flash and Quicksilver.
Mainly just like carrying on from Justice League because, Flash was in Justice League and he's like one of the core 7 members that I haven't had a chance to duel with yet.
I want to do a duel with Punisher in January as well. We'll probably pit him against like
Red Hood.
Yeah, Jason Todd.
Yeah.
That would be a good fight. So yeah, look forward to what we have coming in January. Yep. And there's no hint for this episode. For this trivia question, by the way, in case you were wondering, because the question's a little easy. So, no hint.
Yeah, so we're recording next on January 8th. So I think the next episode will be up either later that night or maybe the next morning or something like that. But early January.
Yes. It depends. Basically, we're going to test how quickly I get these episodes out Monday night. That would be ideal. But if not, then it'll be Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening. I don't know what part of Tuesday, but it's
maybe Wednesday. We don't know.
No, it's not going to be Wednesday. So the episodes are going to be weekly, either Monday or Tuesday, and we'll just see how that pans out. And we'll let you guys know when we release the next episode if it's going to be a Tuesday thing or a Monday thing. But it's going to be one of those.
Yeah.
So we will talk to you all then. And until then,
up and away.
True believers.